you know how it is. So you know how it goes. X's
Yes,
and
yes,
Os.
my people.
Yeah.
Come on,
Welcome, everybody. All the people in the free seats. Welcome to the X's and Os
grab a seat, man. Grab a
live.
seat.
There you go.
Yeah.
X's and Os live. Like I said, we're doing it a bit different this time. So we're embarking on this kind of virtual realm, or should we say the metaverse? You know,
Yeah,
to,
that's what they call it these days, isn't it? The
flexing on
metaverse,
you,
right?
flexing on you guys. Like I said, we're going to be bringing this show to you every Monday and Thursdays. Mondays, like I said, is more Britball focused. We talk about the latest hot topics, gossip, happenings, goings, and just kind of a vibe, really. And like I said, this show is for you guys. So, like I said, if you got any questions, topics, or anything you want to discuss, put a comment in the super chat, and we'll get around to those. So yeah, so like, what are you saying, man? How's your weekend been? You've had an
I'm
eventful weekend.
yeah, I'm good, man. I'm good, man.
Yeah.
It's been like
Mm,
I can't remember the last time I had a weekend that was not non-football related. So
mm,
but this weekend focus was on GBU 19s. So we
mm,
had our last practice with the travelling squad this weekend coming in Denmark. So we
mm,
had our last sort of practice on helmets only with people that are travelling and people that have been selected. So pick up all the 45 kids that have been selected to represent their country. I'm not gonna lie, man. Every single time I talk to my unit or some guys that message me and ask for some advice, I'm like, just take this opportunity with both hands, man. There's so many of us that wish we would represent our country at that level. Like you have now officially on paper, no one can tell you otherwise, represented your country once you've been, selected for these games. So Saturday was good, man. It was a good vibe. We went and done it at the London Irish um, practice or training facilities, which was pretty dope. The guys got kitted out. They tried on the jerseys that they'll be wearing. Fresh new jerseys. GB for that. So yeah, that's going to be interesting. There's a friendly ahead of our international qualifier against Italy next month. I'm
mm,
proper looking forward to it. Sadly, from a sort of playing perspective, I wasn't able to play this weekend. London Blitz
mm,
played
mm,
Bristol, which was from what I've seen and heard a good and eventful game.
mm,
Sadly, not the result that we wanted,
mm,
but we played them away. So
mm,
hopefully, once they come back to our
mm,
size and Kingsbury Park, we
mm,
can show them what we're really about, man. Because no,
mm,
it's no excuses. Should have won, but I've heard
mm,
that there were some things that happened in the game that went against us as to why we didn't win. But again,
mm,
no excuses. We need to find our rhythm and get back to playing some blitz
mm,
football that we all know and love. So yeah, another weekend full of football. Sadly, I didn't play, but obviously I was coaching, and also I forgot to say on Friday, we had a little Real Nail Burners Awards and them things there.
Jeez.
End of
Coach
season.
of the year.
Come on, I had to dish out a
Coach of the
couple
year.
awards here and there, and then
Mm,
thankfully my hard work hadn't gone in vain, and I was announced as coach of the year. So
mm,
that was nice, a nice little touch to wrap up
mm,
my coaching season, my first year of the Burners, and
mm,
yeah, man, being
mm,
announced as coach of the year. Talk
mm.
to me, how's your week, bro?
I'm hearing potential fixture coming up, but we won't disclose that.
We won't disclose that just yet. I'm hoping,
Right.
fingers crossed, this time
Mm,
next week when we're having one of these that we can announce it. But there's gonna
mm,
be a potential big fixture. Obviously X's and O's covering it. As always, I
mm.
sadly might not be able to cover it because I'll be too busy. You know what I mean? Doing
Coaching.
some things. You know what I mean?
Yeah, yeah,
Um, Fingers
yeah.
crossed this time next week, once we've crossed the T's and dotted the I's and signed paperwork, etc.
Mm,
We can announce. We can announce that one. A lot of the U19 guys already know though. I was at practice and all of
mm,
them were like, "Coach, is this really happening?" I was like, "I don't know. Like,
mm.
we'll have
Yeah,
to watch this
yeah,
space sort of thing." But
yeah.
yeah, I'm
Mm,
confident we'll get across the line. There's just a
mm,
few players that we just need to get sort of clearance for.
mm,
Outside of that, man, all good,
mm,
man. How was your weekend?
mm.
Did you play this weekend? I heard there was a.
Yeah, yeah. We played O's. Obviously, it was a bit frisky, but
As
it was a
always,
bit.
when
It
is it
was a
not
bit
between
frisky.
X-Stars and
I,
O's, man?
I know XRs and all Olympians is always a frisky game, but it was good. Bit banged up today as usual, but yeah,
Monday
just
morning after a game, man.
honestly,
Or Monday after
honestly,
a game.
honestly, it never gets old. The body can only take so much. And yeah, and as you get older, it takes longer to recover, all of that. So it's just it's hard.
The worst part is you always think you get used to it.
Yeah.
The worst part is you always think you get used to it, and then
Yeah.
it comes, you see, you're like,
Yeah.
like, as much as I love
Yeah.
this sport, forget about
Yeah.
having to wake up on Monday and to work or do the
Yeah.
school run and like, all of them things there. So
Yeah.
yeah, man.
How many years do you think you got in the bag left before you hang up the boot? Because obviously you're transitioning now to like the coaching, so you're taking more
Yeah, yeah,
of a
that's
hands-on role.
yeah.
Mm.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird one. I strongly believe if I was a coach and playing and I was just solely focused on coaching, that I might be further ahead in my coaching development. But I'm not mad at it, man. I enjoy American football so much, whether it comes in the form of playing or coaching. Like, and my development as a coach is still growing, in my opinion, even more from playing and from being a player, learning from the likes of Coach Duncan Burford, who, in my opinion, is one of the best defensive minds in
Oh
football,
yeah,
and
hands down, hands down.
coach alongside the likes of James Wolford or Coach Max Pettigan,
Oh,
and
legend.
also exactly that. So yeah, man,
Yeah,
I've been able
yeah.
to. I've been blessed enough that, especially this year in particular, I'm DCing at Brunel. I've been the GB Students South All Star coach for the DBs. I'm coaching in Liverpool for GB under 19s, and I'm learning from those guys as well. But I'm also learning from being able to play. In terms of how much I've got left in the tank, at DB as a safety. I'm going down to the box soon, man. Everyone knows me as the hard hitting, strong safety.
Oh yeah, yeah.
I just want to go down. I just want to go down to the box and keep being a hard hitter. I'll probably do that for. I think I can do that for another 2 years,
Yeah.
and then after that, like where I've been playing London Blitz for so long now, I think I deserve to have some. Like, don't get me wrong, I have fun playing now, but I think I deserve to have some playing ball now as well. So I don't know whether that's at the Blitz or whatnot, but I want to play maybe some slot receiver or some
Yeah.
or some tight end and have fun. Because right
Yeah.
now, don't get me wrong, I'm having fun, but I need to continue to proper grind in my position sort of thing. I want to go to a position where I've never tried before and enjoy football as well. So yeah,
Yeah.
if I can't do that at the Premiership level, then by all means I might go to a D1 team and let's have fun. And that's no respect to D1 teams, but I just feel like, especially at our level, like every week we want to grind out a win somehow. We want to
Yeah.
work hard
Yeah.
to win. Whereas I want to go to a team. Don't get me wrong, I still want to win, but I want to enjoy myself whilst doing so. I don't want to have the pressures of bang, bang, bang. We need to do bang, 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 and all of them things there. So, yeah, I'm 30 now. I think I could easily go to about 35, 36
Yeah.
maybe.
Yeah.
And then even then, because how Ty always tells me like you can never put a date on it. If your body feels like it can play,
That's true.
it doesn't matter. However, I want to really focus on coaching at some point. I want to have I want to eventually be the guy that just focus on coaching rather than coaching and playing. I think that's why maybe that transition might come a little bit sooner. But we'll see how it goes, man. I mean, I'm
Yeah.
enjoying it. It hasn't been a big block at the moment. I'm enjoying the U19 stuff. And if Jason Scott or whoever it might be at the time knocks on my door and says, "Yeah, I really want you to be on the men's program," or just says, "Yeah, we've got some opportunities in the academy or even abroad," like I would go to America to coach, man. Like,
Yeah.
I enjoy coaching and I enjoy American football that much. So, long story short, I know I've waffled a little bit, but there's no real time limit on playing. But as long as it affects coaching, the moment it starts affecting coaching, then I might just be like, I'm just going to call it and just focus on coaching, man. What about you, man?
So no, just take on you because a couple of people been saying like, obviously Solanke's got to where he has because of like the X's and O's reputation and obviously with the Madam. So let people know like what has been your channel, your route to
coaching?
GB and coaching and stuff like that.
Yeah.
What's been your route?
I would happily love and be open to having a conversation with anyone that thinks that I've got to where I have because of X's and O's and man, like listen, I've had more blockers because of X's and O's than I have handouts, simply because we're on a platform whereby what we do is very opinion based and everything that we do is our opinion. A lot of it, sometimes we try and do the fact stuff, but at the same time, we're a media outlet. Like we try to understand what the tea is, break down the tea, and have our own opinion, be the voices of the locker room. Everything that's said in the locker room is not always going to be factual, is it? So it's had a lot more blockers because a lot of the time I go for things and people either want 1 free promo or 2 try and it was a fact of the matter. You know it's the case. Like there's some jobs that we said no to because we're not going to do it for free, and you guys benefit from the promo stuff and we get nothing out of it. Like sadly, that's just how it works. Or if we could cover every Britball team or every Uniball team free, we would happily do it. But guess what? Equipment needs to be paid for, labor needs to be paid for, travel needs to be paid for. You still need to eat, sort of thing. And there's bills like the homes that we live in don't pay for themselves, sort of thing. But again, we like budget. If someone spoke to us and said, "Listen, we'll give you X amount if you cover all of these teams," we do it, man. Like, and even if someone said that they couldn't, but they said, like it's not going to affect your living or your other jobs, we'd cover anything for free, but it's just not feasibly possible. So X's and Os provided a lot more workers than people think from a coaching and player development aspect. In terms of like NFL and media coverage, of course it's open doors, but from a coaching perspective, nah, man, I think it's done more blockers. In terms of my route, obviously, I was at Kent Exiles. I played with a footballing genius in a guy called Adam Lillis. And then one summer, Exiles finished, and I was like, oh damn, like I've enjoyed my year so much. What am I going to do about football in the off season? I remember, we used to use Facebook like religiously them times. I remember sharing status is what they were called back in them times. I'll show my age. And saying, I need to get into coaching because I don't know what I'm going to do in the off season. And then Lillis, the funniest thing is me and Lillis hardly spoke much because obviously he was a wide receiver, I'm a DB. We didn't speak much at Exiles, but obviously you follow your teammates or you had your teammates as friends on Facebook and stuff. And he wrote on my status saying, I've inboxed you about an opportunity at City Sentinels, because that's what they called it at the time. And then he messaged me saying, have you got your level 1 and stuff? I haven't been interested in getting it done. And he was like, well, I've got an opportunity to coach you at City and come chop it up with me one time. So I went over, we were eating, and then he was like, I'm looking for a defensive coordinator.
Mad.
That's a bit
no-brainer. No-brainer.
Trust me, only positional stuff was when I was coaching like freshers at uni and stuff. I was like, that's a bit of a jump. It was like, he can see that I understand football a lot. He's already got a playbook. All he wants me to do is execute it and sort of make sure that all the positionals are doing what they're doing. Because none of them could dedicate the time to be a coordinator, whereas I could. So I was like, it's a jump into the deep end, but I'll do it. And I remember there was a lot of learning on the job, but there was also a lot of mentorship from Adam Lillis. So like he was my first mentors, and Nathan Dealey as well. You guys know him as Coach Nathan. I remember messaging him and saying, "This is what's happening." You could be here, man. You got this. Why are you pretending like you don't know how to coach? I've seen you like. I was like, cool, I've done it. So that first year was awesome. Met a bunch of kids, coached someone to play for the national team in Spain. I coached a cornerback called Aji, who won the national championship with London Blitz as well. The guy that ended up winning the championship as well. Exactly. That. It was last year, and the guy before me, Coach Ricks, he was still on the staff, but he was special teams coordinator, and I think I broke a lot of his records. So for me, that's what I was like, wow, like,
you can do this.
I can do this. So
year
2 comes around. This time I've done my own playbook now, so I'm like, damn, like this is fun. I'm enjoying myself. I've done my own playbook. We executed it. Changed the name to City Wolfpack. Had a really good year, and then COVID hit. So COVID hit really put a stall on everything. And then Adam Lillis was leaving. Adam Lillis was leaving the club because he had obviously been coaching GBU 19s and then been offered a position in the men's team. But he was also offensive coordinator for Kent now. So between GB men's and Kent OC, I think was just a lot for him. And then they offered me the role as head coach at City, and I wanted it, but I also, I wanted it, but I also wanted to be at a university. I was about to say college, bloody hell, like in America.
College.
But I also wanted the opportunity to be at a university that is got a campus, and 2, I'll be able to, I don't know, have a group of players that I'm confident will be at practice more than the guys at City. And that's no offense to Cities, but because it's not a campus university, it's tough to get in touch and have a big impact on those players and keep them engaged. Whereas when you're on a campus, like we have the committee, and the committee can literally knock on a man's door and be like, "Why aren't you at practice today?" Sort of thing. So I just thought Brunel is where it's meant to be, and I started coaching at Blitz under 19s, and I met a guy called SJ.
Yeah, no, I was going to ask you about that. Go on.
Yeah, I forgot about that. So I started coaching with Coach Henry at Blitz under 19s, and I met a guy called SJ. And then in that off season, I was like, before I knew about Lillis leaving, I was like, SJ, what's Brunel saying? Blah blah blah. I was like, they're sick. I think you should jump on board. I was like, yeah, we'll see what happens, because I'm still with City. And then Lillis was like, I need an answer on the head coach stuff because the union want to know. And I was like, Lillis, thanks, but no thanks, man. I might have an opportunity elsewhere. And I think I deserve, and I've worked hard enough to be able to take that opportunity up if it turns into something. So Seb at Brunel messaged me because I was meant to message him, but he got sick and tired of waiting for me. You know how I am sometimes. I think life gets in the way. So Seb messaged me like, I heard you're interested in coming to Brunel. I was like, oh yeah, I'm thinking about it. It's a bit further than City. So I'm thinking about it. It's like, man, join. Like, I've seen your work. I love what you do. I've heard nothing but good things about you come through. So it was like, I'll come to one session. So I went to one session. I loved it. Like, I don't know if it was fake, but I went to one freshman session and they had numbers, they had people, people were listening. I was like, did these guys just do this because they heard like Jason Lincoln was coming and that? It looks legit. Yeah. I remember Seb messaged me after. I was like,
shout out Seb, man. Seb's one of those vibe guys, man. I got too much love for Seb. Seb Pettican is a legend, man.
Yeah.
He's cool guy.
So he messaged me and it was like, yeah, man, do you enjoy it? Come down. I was like, yeah. What do you guys need me to do, man? And they had every position down. They had every position covered. So I was a bit like, you got every position. What do you want me like doing that? And he was like, come help out the DBs. I'm head coach and DC, but I'd love your input on anything like defensive related. I was like, that's cool. Like a bit of a step down for me, but I don't mind. I'm at a bigger university, and I feel like I have a bigger impact. So that's happened, and then we've had our first coaching meeting, and just before the coaching meeting, Seb goes, I need to go and be OC now because the OC stepped down. I want you to be DC, but do it joint with a guy called Sam Fraser, who's the DB coach as well.
Yeah,
like, that's cool. That can run. I don't know about the co-DC thing, but I'm new to it. I don't want to step on no one's toes. So we had that meeting now. Blah blah blah. I'm loving the whole prospect. The fact that it's got coaches in every position. Everyone's brought in. We know what we want to do. So that's happened now. Fast forward a couple of weeks. I don't know what's happened. I've missed the classroom session. And then I got a call from Seb saying, "Yeah, man, you're the sole DC now. Like, Fraser's just gonna look after DBs. This person's left after linebackers. That's D line. You're just the sole DC. I want you to float." I was like, "Bro, okay, like, let's get it cracking. Let's get to work." Like, this is what I wanted. Yeah, this is what I wanted, but it came like a year earlier. So I was like, "Let's get to work." Cool. Like the season started now. I was like, what have I got myself into? Maybe I'm out of my depth. I think in our first 4 drives, we conceded 3 touchdowns. I was like, what is happening now? Everyone's expecting
it's long.
Everyone's expecting to come in and be this like all-star coach, like set the rush. So I was like, what's happening? So I remember bringing him on at halftime. I was like, because you have to remember, I joined a little bit late into the preseason. And a lot of the guys that were playing because of reputation and what I had been told by other coaches.
Okay.
I was like, this ain't it, man. So I remember bringing in a lot of rookies, and there was one rookie in particular, whose name is Jerry. He plays Blitz under 19s now. His name is Jerry. And I think in his first play, he got like a sack. Second play, tackle for loss. Second place, another tackle for loss. I was like, this is how you earn your position, man. Because all this time I was doing this whole thing of, and like, it's unfair, but at the same time, I have to like give myself a little bit of like it was tough for me to pick based on like what I've seen because I hadn't seen a lot, so I had to go based on what the other coaches have said, and I was like, you know what, one thing I've learned when I'm ever going to an organization, clean slate for everyone. Everyone starts because the fact that I left that guy Jerry on the bench for the whole of first half because he was a rookie, and he came on and showed me that I'm not being dropped again, made me think, and he won. And props to him, he won Defensive Lineman of the Year this year as well. So props to Jerry. Yeah, he had a man and his coach as well, Alex Bell, former Lion kid. But yeah, so we were from strength to strength after that game. I think defense, absolutely, offense smashed it as well. But I really after defense, I don't want to speak out of turn, but defense absolutely smashed it all year to the point where
playoffs.
South semi-finals. We played Filton Pride, and in my opinion, Filton the hardest game they'll have all year. I know that guy Jeremy. I coached him at GB under 90s. He's gonna hate me saying this, but he had 100+ rushing yards against everyone apart from us. I think we only conceded one touchdown that, in my opinion, was on defense, and that's because of what we gave up the ball in the red zone. You know, playing against someone like Filton, they're going to punish you for balls in the red zone. But outside of that, we gave them a hell of a game on the field. Game ended up finishing 12-0, I think, to be fair.
That's not bad.
But this is a team that was smashing them on.
That's what I'm saying.
You know what I mean? So, and it gave us a bit of foundation to start from because many of those guys were rookies, especially like my starting defense against a team where 9 out of 11 of them were rookies. And thanks to the fantastic season I had over there, you know, the All-Star applications went out. I was even going to put my name forward, but the Brunel coaches were like, "No, you've had such a good year, man. You have to."
It makes sense. It makes sense.
Thanks to Max and Wilf and those guys. I ended up going in and coaching the DBs there, which was pretty cool. And on the day of the game, I was actually in the box helping Wilf with some
plays. Jeez, what was that like?
It was giving me NFL vibes. I know when you're guys in the press box upstairs. If you what is been doing? I'm happy I've had that experience. I don't think anyone can say like it helps all the game from the sky sort of thing. So that was a brilliant experience, man. Like having Wolf on the headphone saying, "Oh yeah, Jay, what from this and what do you see and why did that happen?" And you know what I mean? Should I be saying anything to these coaches? So yeah, that was a really, really dope experience, man.
That's crazy.
South All-Stars one as well. So my first silverware as a coach. That was nice.
Did you get emotional?
A little bit because
did you cry?
No, I didn't cry. Big man, I'll tell you the moment I cried this season though. There was one moment I cried this season. Even my players saw it. So Brunel, the furthest Brunel have ever been in terms of playoffs was the first round of the playoffs, and we played Hertfordshire Hurricanes in the first round of the playoffs. Everyone rated us 5-time national champions, Hertfordshire Hurricanes. We should be beaten them. We didn't concede a TD, and on top of that, offense run all over them. And knowing that I was part of the Brunel history that had helped these guys go to the first semi-final in D1, I was on the sideline. I was like, and I truly, in my heart of hearts, believe that we're potentially going to go to the promised land. So it was a shame that we didn't. There's also no shame losing to Filton Pride.
They're a brilliant team. I mean, well drilled coaches
and Ben there, man. And the rest of the coaches over there. Like honestly, at the end of the game, they were like, that should have been the final. That was the toughest game we played all year. And no offense to whoever they played in the final, I can't remember who it was.
Exeter Demons,
No offense to Exeter, but when I watched that final, I was just like, man, we should have been there, man. We should have been there. But hey, guess what? We go again next year, man. And
there you go. Next year, you could be lifting that trophy, that plate.
That's the plan, man. The plan is to go to the promised land. The plan is to go and play the Prem. And I definitely think we've got the infrastructure, the coaches, the foundation from players, the players that are coming in. Like people are hearing about now. Like I want to play for those guys. I want to play for those coaches. I want to be part of that camaraderie that we see. In my opinion, we got the best graphics in Uniball as well, man. You see the graphics. What comes out from our media team is insane. Sometimes I'm like, can you not cook me up some little something? Like I'm trying to look good. And then
Trust me.
my coach, so that's how I got into coaching. That's how I'm at coaching now. So trust me, there's no handouts, man. There's a lot of hard work. There's a lot of understanding the game. There's a lot of clinics I've been on from American coaches, clinics on UK coaches. Just last week, what's his name? The head coach of he used to be the old Birmingham Lions head coach. Head of Bafka, I forgot his name now. He's gonna.
Oh, Wayne Hill.
Yes, I forgot his name. Yeah. Sorry, Wayne.
Shout out Wayne Hill, man.
Yeah,
he actually gave us our first gig.
He did. I'll never forget. He gave us our first gig. So shout him out as well. Yeah, it's like learning from people like that. Even last week, he was like, like Jay, you have to do your level 2. So I done my level 2 the other day as well. Pretty cool. We got Phoebe as well, always giving me coaching points as well. So there's a lot of hard work that like people always think that you can just like because you like football and you understand X's and O's, you can just jump into it. For me personally, it started like that. But when I started taking it more seriously, it became a thing of understanding the game, understanding rules, understanding concepts, understanding like me personally as a coach. What I think sets me apart from other defensive coaches and DCs is I set traps. Like I play like people think you can just call plays. Like you can do that and call yourself a coach. But when I'm coaching, I've watched so much tape that there's another coach that I have at Brunel. I didn't think that any coach watched as much tape as me, but Ricks, his name is Ricks, he played Wembley Stallions as well. With that coach, he is, if not more, but the same amount of tape as me. And that Bristol game, we knew every single. When we see this, they're running that. When we see this, we coached our players so well to the extent that they were seeing things through our eyes as well. So when they see certain things, exactly that play is going to happen. And when that play happens, we're going to run X, Y, and Z because we want to set up a trap. So when they run the next, we can get a pick or we can get a tackle for loss. Bro, I take coaching that seriously to the defined little minuscule things that can set traps for my opponents rather than just call plays. Whereas some other coaches, like, and I've seen it, they'll just call plays and I don't do that, man. I don't. I'm going to call the timeout saying they're doing this because they want to set us up for this. But what we're going to do to be more prepared is that when they do that, we're going to do this. So therefore, when he throws it, I have a pick. You can sack him. You can. Oh man, we had stupid amount of tackle for losses simply because of doing little things like that, man. So
and that's how the game slows down. You know that because a lot of people think, you got to play this game at speed, but you can actually study the game. You know, when you become a student of the sport. The game slows down when it's fast. It almost slows down for you, and you can make those informed decisions and play the game at a different level. Almost like you're able to almost control. Every punch, counter punch. And that's
film is so important, bro, man. Film is so important. Obviously, we all know is the reason why some of us left a certain team. Like, it's important, like for your development, not just even as a coach, but as a player. Like you say, it slows it down. Like, imagine watching so much film to the point where the guy that in front of you, like you on the line, for example, like the tackle in front of you, he's telling you so much that like you're ready for any move he's gonna give you because you've watched enough film. So it's so important. And like you say, being a student of the game. Whereby there'll be some games where you might not get tape, but you understand the game so well now that if this guy is lined up so far outside of you and the run is going that way, why are you going to waste your energy?
Exactly.
You have to come to me. And you're a master of the trenches. You Remy, like you've been in the trenches. So like you say, like in order to get to a certain level that you really, in my opinion, you really want to be at, you have to understand the game, man. You have to study them. A lot of people, especially in Britball, in my opinion, think they can wake up tomorrow and just be a coach or a sick player. And you might naturally be gifted at it, but you won't get to the point, in my opinion, that a lot of senior coaches have. And that's why I say big up Jason Scott, because I remember when I done a catch up with him, I didn't realize like a year or two in America to study the game. That's what sets them apart from other coaches. Like that, some have won it all. They shouldn't have won it all. But guess what? He studied the game so much that he put his players in a position to succeed. And I say it to my players all the time. I was like, there's only so much I can do. What I will do is put you in a position to succeed. And that's because I understand the game. What you have to do now is execute what I've taught you. It's as simple as that.
Yeah. Boy, that's bad. So obviously you're telling us a lot about that, the highs. the lows, obviously, because every coach, we've had some interesting coaches, along the way,
Yeah.
and I've come across some interesting
Yeah.
coaches who coach in a different way.
Mm.
And one of my favorite coaches, who's kind of outside or kind of as a head coach, or almost one of my my idols or inspirations, is Alex Ferguson. Yeah,
Yeah.
and we all know the stories of Alex Ferguson's ability to get out of different players, different things at different times.
Yeah.
But his people and his management of players and his man management of players is what almost set him apart from everyone else. Yeah,
Yeah.
But so what? Okay, because you came into the Burners when they had a really bad start to the game. Because I can't imagine you, because obviously you're a nice guy. So I've never actually watched you coach. So I can't imagine how you
Yeah.
deal with the difficult times and
Yeah.
how you do you give the hair dryer treatment? What is your almost like your philosophy or mantra when it comes to laying it down to players? Because these are young guys. I remember when I was a student, boy, hey, listen, I'm coming in maybe half drunk,
Yeah.
Like I said,
Yeah.
this is football. So how do
Yeah.
you,
Exactly.
it's, what is your, almost like your philosophy in man managing players?
Yeah. I love the fact I use the football analogy. I've studied Alex Ferguson. I've studied Jose Mourinho, who people hate, and I've studied
Mm,
Arsene Wenger, who people love. So
mm,
the good thing about someone like me coming after all those brilliant coaches is that I can take the best things of all of them do and mold it to, in my opinion, become a super coach. So
mm,
you're right. Not all the time things are going to go well. And you have to understand, especially from a student perspective or under 19s level perspective, they aren't always going to respond to the same treatment at all times, if
yeah,
that makes sense. Whereas at senior ball, if you get the blow dry treatment, you somewhat have to take it a little bit because you're meant to
mm,
be, I don't want to say the word man enough because you can't say that anymore apparently, but you're meant to be
mm,
bold enough and brave enough to be able to take the criticisms no matter what form they come in. Whereas these
yeah,
students, everyone's got that experience of playing American football, who are aggressive, blah blah blah, in your face all the time.
mm,
So there's two ways in which I manage things. If I know that the team are underperforming and losing,
mm,
I get a little bit irate. Come on,
yeah,
guys, you better. I challenge the team. What is
mm,
happening? I
mm,
might shout. I try my best to never F and blame. I don't effing and blaming is not part of my coaching culture. If I do
mm,
it, probably like in a training session and it's as a laugh, but I try my
mm,
best to F and blame when I'm giving the blow dry treatment because I just feel like
yeah,
it's me then talking down on them. If I want to earn their respect, I need to
mm,
send that message still in a respectful manner. So if I know
that's
we're
right.
underperforming, so we're losing and we're not playing at our level, we're missing tackles, we're not
Mm,
doing our assignments, we're not running
mm,
hard, we're not getting everyone to
mm,
the ball, you will get the blow dry treatment from me.
mm,
It'll be passion more than anger. So when I'm
mm,
doing it, you'll see me getting a little bit like, what's happening, guys, man? I know we're better than this. Like, you're meant to be doing
mm,
tackles. We practice this on Wednesday. Why are we doing this? So it's
mm,
more of a place of platform passion than anger. However,
mm,
if we're getting beaten and I know we're playing to our optimum, like
mm,
like it was a broken play or something that it's just not gone our way, or it's the refs or something that's
mm,
outside of our control,
yeah,
it's more upset encouragement. Come on, guys,
mm,
like, I know it's tough out there, but we can still
mm,
do it. So it's
mm,
more. There's two ways that I always handle it, and there's
mm,
there's always going to be times where you get angry, but it's about how
mm,
you express that anger. Let For me, express that anger by passion, man, because
yeah,
sometimes like players don't always react to you being in their face and you spitting all over
mm,
their helmets and stuff.
mm, yeah,
It's
yeah,
anger
yeah,
where it's like, man, like I know like these guys are better than us. They're just better. Sometimes it happens. They're just better than you
mm,
guys, and
yeah,
that's when you have that anger, but it comes out in a sense of encouragement, and that's how
mm,
it felt like against Bristol because I know the guys were balling. I know they were trying hard, but I still was
mm,
trying to get that extra 1% just to see
yeah,
if we could game. Whereas the games
mm,
like not against the guys at Imperial, but we were losing to Imperial, and I told you there was like 3 touchdowns in 4 drives. I was like, this is not this is not Burners football. What the hell are you guys
mm,
doing? You guys
mm,
sleep. You can't be asked to be here. You can't be asked to
mm.
be here
Go
because
home. Yeah.
the next burner
Mm,
is ready to step up. However,
mm,
it has to get to a point where you know your players. So I might give everyone the blow dry treatment but I know that there's one guy that's hustling for me, and I know he might potentially take that to heart. So I've done that. After every single drive, we catch up. We've broken down. I go and pretend like I'm going to watch the offense. I might watch them for a bit, and I might go and tell that positional coach, or I might me myself, that person's positional coach, or me myself. Listen, I know you're balling out there now. I know. I could get, but guess what? I know you can do it. You just keep giving me 100%. Everyone, you keep giving me 100%. And at the level that I coach at is important to always put like, even if someone's having a bad game, good game. One thing coaches will never know on the day of a game, unless you've spoken to them, is what's happening at home. You never know what's happening at home, what's happening in their mind, what's happening at uni. So I've had one of my starters and my key guy having an off game. Everyone's come off the pitch. I've given them the blow dry treatment, but I can see like something's not right. So I've gone up to him after. What's up, man? You're not playing like yourself. Talk to me. And he's telling me, coach, I'm over X person. Like my home's not working. Like my parents are doing this. My parents trying to. Like, and I'm like, whoa, like, are you sure you want to be here? Like, coach, I want to be here. Like, listen. It might sound like the team needs you, but your heart, your mental, your brain is more important than anything. Like, unless you do that yourself right now, I'm not complaining. And he's like, coach, trust me. Like, thank you very much for having this chat. Like, I just needed someone to vent it out to, because sometimes you can't release all of it in football. Like, I just want to sort of vent frustrations to you. And yeah, the blind in second half, simply because someone like I couldn't imagine the half that he would have played if I didn't go and speak to him. Because he could out there and be like, I can't be asked. Like, I've still got all of this at the back of my mind, and then he's got the pressure of the players. Like, you're meant to be one of the leaders. Why are you playing like that? Then he's got the pressure of the other coaches. Hey, why is he not playing? Well, pull him out, Coach J, man. I understand. Like, I've got another player. He doesn't get a lot of reps, but he hustles and works hard. And there was one time he came up to us after the game and was like, coach, man, I feel like you're treating everyone with the paintbrush, the same paintbrush, even though some of us didn't even get to prove ourselves. And I was like, you know what, you're right, and I can only apologize for that. But guess what? I don't take it for granted that I don't see that you're working hard. I know you're working hard. You just keep grinding, and when the opportunity arises, you need to take it. And they appreciate feedback like that. So that's why I say, like, even though at times you have to give everyone the same sort of team prep and the team talk, be it happy, angry, or sad. Like, you have to know your players well enough to know who's going to react well to it, who's not, and the players that might need a little bit of a listen. I wasn't talking about you back there, man. Or listen, I was talking about you. Like,
get your ass in line.
And there's some players whereby I don't even need to chat to them. I just know that huddle, they know that wasn't about me. Like, on to the next minute. That was about me. Do you know what I mean? So you just have to you have to know your players, and those are the down times. But I always, especially in coaching the level I coach at, I always try and switch the down periods or the sad times or the times when things aren't going well into a positive, man. That's you know me. I'm a positive guy. I like to say
100%,
Even if we've been we haven't been, but even if we get slapped 50-0 or something like that, at the end of the game, I might be angry. You'll get the blow dry treatment, but something that Alex Ferguson was very good at was giving it to his players. Then before you leave the locker room, by the way, anyways, on to next week, man. Like we have to find ourselves again. Let's rejuvenate ourselves. What are we gonna do this week? Are we gonna do a team? Like, that's me. If we have a bad game, I'm onto my players like, cool. Like, we've had a bad game, but next week we're gonna get a donut and we'll get some Krispy Kremes after. I still haven't got the players Krispy Kremes yet because they know what the aim was to get Krispy Kremes and they didn't do it.
And what's the aim?
So basically, I was new in it, so I was like, there's gonna be some teams that this year that we should be getting donuts against. Like, we should. So I'm not gonna give you Krispy Kremes for getting a donut against a team that we should. So I said, if we get donuts against majority of the teams we play, so I think there was 6 teams. I think we play 8 games. So if they get 5 donuts, then they get Krispy Kreme. And I'll personally drive to and get boxing. We only got 3 or 4 in the end. Donuts. So they didn't get them. And I remember the players were like, coach, where's our donuts? We got like, I don't, because like, with all due respect, we play some teams that they shouldn't be scoring up. Defense shouldn't be out there. Like, we're playing a lot of our second and our first to get them guys some minutes because, like, we should be getting donuts against those guys. I want to see us get donuts against the people that you know, score against us like on in that seasons in the past. And yeah, man, get my donuts. If we get 4 out of 5 donuts out of 8 games, we're most likely going to finish number 1 in the division, and that's what I want to do.
100%. Yeah.
The reason why we didn't play Fulton in the finals because we didn't finish number 1 in our division. We finished number 2. Yeah, man. It's I don't know, man. Bare gems for your head tops, everyone there.
You know that one. You know that's how it gets sometimes with the X's and Os.
It does.
Coach Solanke.
Bro, again, I can talk about like I think it goes to show how much like passion and love I've got for coaching because listen, we've been on this now. I haven't seen those 40 go because I can talk about there's so many parts that I've missed out or so many parts of the timeline that I've taken away because like coaching is like my bag, bro. Like I can go on forever. Like someone's having a conversation about coaching with me. Let me know, bro. Man can go on forever about coaching.
You heard it here. Like I said, it's like Jay, but it's the work people don't see. You know, it's the work behind the doors that people don't see when no one's watching. You know, that's the work that comes to almost to the crop. You know, that's what makes it the crop.
And one of the biggest compliments for me as a coach, especially my first year at Brunel, was seeing my players set up discords and then go overtake themselves because they understand. Like in classroom, I stress the importance of tape and understanding your assignments and know what you're doing. And I'm out here, and I let my players know I'm turning up, man. I'm out with it. You know what I mean? I'm enjoying myself. I'm on date night. I'm
Miami.
You know what I mean? I'm in Miami. But I can see the WhatsApp chat going bling bling bling, and that's because these men are in a Discord watching a film. Like I've got people that go up their way to watch film because they understand the importance of the things that the coaching staff have instilled in those guys to like, man, it's testament, man. Like it just goes to show, like, if you coach in the right way, in my opinion, is like, the players will run through brick walls for you, man. And that's something I picked from God rest his soul, R.I.P. Coach Leo, man. That guy, and you can't teach what he had, and that's why for me sometimes I struggle with. I'm like, how do you get these players to like have your back? You can't teach that element of getting players to be bought into what you want to do because I strongly believe that I've got players now on that Brunel Burner squad that will run through brick walls. Same way, when we were at the O's, even though things weren't going as well as they were,
we fought, man. We fought, man. I would bleed.
We fought for him, bro. That's so cool. And I think something like that you can't teach, man. And that's one thing, like, God, honestly, man, like, I always said that he was one of the best coaches, like, to come out of this country, in my opinion. Because what he could get players to do, the mindset he could get players in, is something that I personally picked up. And I try to instill into everyone that I've coached, now, past, present, future, whatnot. And yeah, man, they even
we were catching balls in the dark, man. We were there till late. They'll kick us out of the floodlights with a gun out, and we stood there getting bitten by those mutant bugs, those mosquitoes that bite you and you feel like.
Bro, look what he done when he left O's. Look how many players were like, I'm going. Wherever you go, I'm going.
Yeah.
Do you know how much pull you must be able to have for a group of players to be like, wherever you go, coach, I am going. That's mad. That's the level that I want to get to. Whereby, if I ever coach I don't know if I'll coach a senior squad yet, but maybe that I'm speaking too early. If I ever coach a senior squad, I want players to be like, Coach Jay's there. I'm going to play for him.
Yeah,
that's the level that I want to get to.
Yeah, that's the respect. That's where you know you got the respect. You know that you didn't even have to demand. You know, you just let your actions get that respect, and I think that's the level where you don't need to pipe up and this and that. You just do your work, and you do the work, and like I said, people or players will respond to that. You know, and that's part. Shout out Sam Johnson in the free seats. He says, obviously he's talking about Jay, so he says, this is why he's the coach of the year. Yeah, shout out. Like I said, to get that in your second year or third year, first year of coaching at the Burners, that's testament to
something that people need to know. Yeah, 1 year at coaching at City Wolfpack, coach of the year. 1 year at coaching Burners, coach of the year, man. And I'm bigger SJ for coming in the chat. One thing about him is people don't see the work that he does. Like, you don't really get a lot of sports analysts in our game at the moment, and he's been so great at doing it for Bruno Fernandes that sometimes because he does the stats at the end of every game, and he'll be like, oh yeah, but this person or your defense gave up X amount of yards, or your defense, this person got caught on, or this person had a couple picks, and he doesn't realize, even though because naturally I feel like I should ask him and be like, yo, what was the stats like this week? But he doesn't realize that at the end of every game, when he says things like that to me, it lets me know what I need to focus on, i.e. Your team, your defense got rushed on this amount of times, this or the yards. I was like, okay, so now I know we don't need to focus on the front six per se as much. We can focus on the backfield, because guess what? They gave up a couple more yards in the air than we should have. So he makes my life as a coordinator so much easier, because then I know what I need to focus on as a defense. I know where we're struggling as a defense. I know what where the gaps might be. So big up him. I'm happy I was able to play my part in helping him get onto the GB under 19 stuff as well. So, yeah, so he's the official, one of two official analysts for GB under 19 as well. And fingers crossed, man, we can get him doing a lot more bigger things, because I think it's a role that's really underrated, in my opinion, especially for programs. Yeah, man. You got SJ, man.
Shout out SJ, man. Always, like I said,
messaged me and told me to join the Bruno as well. So, buddy relationship we got going on there.
Yeah, shout out SJ, man. Like I said, this is Exs and Os. Like I said, the super chats. Like I said, feel free to drop any comments, questions you like for myself or Mr. Seleke. Like I said, we'll endeavor as much as possible to get through to those, get around to us. But yeah, Jay, it's Brickball, man. Brickball's a bit crazy, Obviously, we see the Titans starting to emerge. What are they now? They're like
that was always coming, bro. Remember I told you one of our first ever podcasts. Remember I said it. I said Manchester Titans might be the best organization. I remember I remember the Warriors guys kept going on to me about, what do you mean? What do you mean? I'm not talking about team. You guys might be the best team on paper. Don't get me wrong. You guys, that's why I said might, because I'm a London bitch. So you guys might be the best team on paper, but as an organization, I said it for a long time. I've said that, and now people can see what I was talking about. People can see the vision I was talking about. Don't be surprised, in 3 years' time, between now and 3 years' time, if they do a Tamworth and take a natty home, man, because they're doing it. Kent Exiles, I always said that people need to be worried about Kent Exiles, because what they're doing is sometimes you can't always find and buy players to come to your program. You build them through the program, and Kent Exiles are doing it. And a lot of the guys in the main team now are from Kent Exiles. The issue that Kent Exiles have is keeping that young talent in the program.
Yes.
But Manchester Titans don't have that issue. So the young guys coming out of their under 19 program and staying within Manchester Titans, and that's what makes them so strong, because they don't now have to find a 25-year-old guy that's in the gym and try and mold those guys into football players. They've already got 17, 18, 19-year-olds that have been promoted to the main and are already ready to play football, if that makes sense.
Hardened, seasoned players,
Exactly that. So Manchester Titans are definitely going to be a program to watch out for. And they're doing well. They beat Tamworth. They'll probably end up as number 1 seed in their division. Whoever comes second in the south, hopefully London Blitz, will have to go out there and play them, and it won't be an easy game to play, because guess what? Now you have to travel. And play them in their home ground, which is a nice ground as well. Yeah, man.
Sandwell Steelers, they're really feeling. They're bottom of their division.
Sandwell Steelers. I've always had a lot of time for those guys, but I think, if I'm not wrong, a lot of their guys went to Tamworth, if I'm not wrong.
Okay.
And Tamworth, similar to Blitz, because of their coaching staff, they will naturally always be around that conversation. So even if they don't finish first, I don't finish any below third. They've got great coaching. They recruit well, and the name Tamworth holds some weight sometimes. And I think some people forget that sometimes the name of an organization is enough to sometimes win games, man. We're seeing. With all the respect to the London Warriors, don't get me wrong, they coach well, they train well, they've got athletes, but sometimes the name alone scares people away, and it's more refreshing to see like, oh yeah, the London Warriors time players and teams get scared. So yeah, I think Tamworth will be in a similar boat a little bit, whereby the name carries a lot of weight and they'll go into some maybe with like a touchdown lead simply because they are Tamworth Phoenix. But like I said, I don't finish any lower than second or third. I do expect Manchester to see it out and finish first.
Damn.
And that'll be them reclaiming what they call themselves. I speak to a lot of Manchester United. Yo, you there?
Yeah, still there. Yeah.
I speak to a lot of Manchester United, and they really see themselves as kings of the north. So this year, they will definitely trying to remind everyone, we're back to the truth. It's getting tasty in the north, man. And I hope it begins to get tasty on the south. And when I say that, tasty in the middle of the pack, but the top of the pack needs to start getting tasty as well, man. Like the Warriors just need to get locked off, man, and they won't like me saying that.
But can they? Can they get knocked off? Yeah.
It's a weird one because they won't like me saying it, but at the same time, I know a lot of Warriors guys that want competition as well. So it's nice to beat up everyone, but they also still want to be challenged as well. And I think they can get knocked off, man. Again, like I played Blitz and that first half that we played them, like, you know what I mean? Like the game was competitive. Anyone was that was still competitive. But I don't know if it's an attrition thing. I don't know if it's like I said, the name carrying weight. I don't know if they got the blow dry treatment from TA, and they came out firing in the second half. Because we're just prove to everyone that like we're not we don't business sort of thing. So every team can be got any given Sunday. Like when I say that a team can be beat, it's not me trying to disrespect them, but it's any given Sunday at the end of the day.
True.
We play a sport whereby all it takes is, you know, God forbid, touch wood, a bad injury to someone's QB or they're starting running.
Change the momentum. Yeah.
Right, like like we like at the top level, but you know, a team that was easily beating up everyone that was finishing third in Prem North or South might have lost a player by a transfer or injury or whatever it may be, and that team is now suddenly in contention to be relegated. That's just not football work.
It's crazy because obviously you're obviously, you know, obviously you could disassociate yourself now, but obviously you're part of the new, you know, kind of the generation of Blitz lifers who are trying to almost like reclaim some of that past glory and get Blitz to the level, you know, that they're used to. So that must be crazy because obviously, you know, what's the vibe, you know, in camp around the Blitz guys? Because obviously they're seeing now Bristol Aztecs coming in, meaning business. Obviously, we know Bristol Aztecs has acquired, you know, some players that don't have the same passport as you and I, but we'll get to that in a different podcast. But so obviously they've acquired some serious talent, right? So they're knocking on the doors, thinking, you know what, we want that second spot. You know, we want that second, maybe first even spot. So what do you say to that?
And rightfully so. Everyone should come into every season wanting to be number one. So you're right. I play for London Blitz. I'm a Blitz lifer, and the vibe in the camp is 1 week at a time, man. Like that, honestly, I wish I could tell you like this is what the aims and we're doing a bit. No, the vibe in the camp is right now, 1 week at a time. We know where we want to be. We know that we want to be the champions of Britball. That is as simple as that. How we get there, the journey will tell us how we get there. But like, that's the plan, and I strongly believe that every team that plays Premiership football should be thinking or coming into every season thinking we want to be the champs. Nobody wants to be the number one. Nobody wants to be the guy that's best of the rest. My mentality is, and the mentality of the Blitz is, we want to win a championship. That's who I represent. I represent a program that is known for winning championships. So we come into every season wanting to win the championship. It's as simple as that, man. And I feel like that's the mentality that the elite programs have.
But the NFC North is different. NFC, sorry?
It's about trying to refine that flame, and I'm confident we
will. 100%. Yeah, I think you know, we've obviously Coach Anderson at the helm. You know, he's one of those coaches that you talk about who has the respect of the players. You know, Blitz I kind of had an off season with them, And I think Blitz have, with the likes of Deji, and they have good DJ, and Tonye. They've got two good leaders, on defense. I think the only thing, obviously, they got Ibs, who's again a leader, who's a leader who talks through his pads. He doesn't talk much, but he talks through his pads, and he puts his body on the line, and almost that spurs on the other players. I think with those core leaders, I think Blitz could definitely, if they have a few pieces here and there, I think Blitz could potentially get back to the level that
the foundation is definitely there. But the issue is, at this point, every team's trying to build a foundation. It's about who's going to be the quickest to start building on top of the foundation. Because I can say the same about Exiles. Okay, I know Cook is gone now, but Cook was a nice foundation to have there with the likes of Tom Lee. Nice foundation. I'm looking at Solon. They got that running back Adam, and a QB and two guys on the line that are GB sort of athletes at the moment. So, everyone's got the foundation. I'm looking at Manchester Titans. They've had the foundation for ages now. They're beginning to build on top of that foundation. They're a perfect example of what I'm talking about. Somewhere they had a foundation in Daly, and a few other guys, and they started building on top of that. Hence, why they won the 90. So that my thing is, it's what you're saying is right. Like Blitz have got a foundation, but everyone has. The issue is starting to build on that as quick as possible. And I think whoever gets there first will be the team that topples the current national champion.
True. NFC 1 North is looking a bit juicy. Obviously, your previous team. What's happened to the Yorkshire Rams, man? They've never got back to because obviously you used to play for the Rams, so I remember the Rams being one of those tough hard hitting teams. But now it seems that they've never got back to those years of stardom. You see, East Kilbride are coming back up. Obviously, they're top in division with 4 wins. Obviously, the Wolverines, even the Goliaths, the Inverclyde Goliaths, they're really struggling down the bottom of the pile. Man, the NFC North 1 is looking crazy, bro. Looking crazy.
Yeah, Yorkshire Rams are a little bit of an enigma for me. Like you said, I used to play for those guys over there. I know they lost a lot of talent. It was when I was there, they were in the Prem and it was an aging squad. So I think it's more a case of they're trying to. Well, they're still going for a rebuild. Is what I think is the best way to describe it. And I think once they've done it and they've sorted out the rebuild, they'll be fine. They merged with the academy over there as well. I can't remember what the academy.
Okay, yeah. Oh, Yorkshire, right. Yorkshire Academy or something. I remember
they
that.
merged with those. Again, I think they'll be fine. They're not going anywhere, which is the most important thing. So yeah, man.
Bro, can Hornets finally make it to the Prem?
I think
London
they
Hornets
can
finally make it to the Prem.
I keep saying it. I've been saying it for a while now, man. I've been saying it for a while now. You've got Hertfordshire Cheetahs there as well. SFC 1 West, I think. But I keep saying that. I've been saying it for a while. The Hornets have been waiting for this opportunity, man. And I was saying it. Who was I saying it to? I was saying it to one of the coaches in Brunel that plays for Kent, actually, James Calvin. I was saying, Hornets come up. That is a tasty premiership.
Bro.
That is a tasty premiership. But my issue is you now have the London Warriors, the London Blitz, the London Hornets, Kent Exiles, all in that sort of London vicinity. I know it's called Kent Exiles, but they're definitely in that London vicinity. All playing in like 4 teams coming from that same. That's a big spread of talent, man. A big spread of talent.
Bro.
Obviously joined up by.
When you play the Hornets at home,
that's why I think it's going to be mad because at this it's looking like Olympians are going to go down. Let's call a spade.
They're done. They're finished. Yeah, they're done.
I'm going to go down, but I've always said that those Exiles Hornets games have always been something else. Those are the bloodbaths. So I think Hornets want to come up and they'll have a point to prove. They're going to try and prove a point, man. But again, even if they don't come up, you've got Wembley Stallions that's still that division. Hertfordshire Cheaters as well. They're playing well at the moment. I think Hertfordshire top of Division 1 where they are as well. So it's going to make for interesting times, man. It's going to make for some seriously interesting times.
Yeah. Like I said,
we're talking about relegation, so we're saying, you know, Olympians have played 5, they've lost all 5. It's looking like they're on their way down. What we're saying, obviously, there's two teams that haven't got a win in Premiership North as well, and Sheffield Giants and Sandal Steelers. I've always liked Sandal, but who do you reckon goes, man? Is it Sandal? Is it Sheffield? Who do you think is going to be the guys that?
My heart is definitely saying Sandwell. I don't know why. I think like I said, I think they've lost a lot of guys, and I don't think they have enough to sustain. I mean, at this level anymore. It's a shame, really, because they're one of those teams that we thought, you know, when they I think they won. They came up, or they won. They won. Yeah. So they're one of the guys you thought were gonna stay up and dominate the Prem, but now it seems like it may have been too. They've almost bitten too much, and they can't chew, kind of thing. So it's a real shame.
That one. It definitely could be that. Another underdog that we haven't spoken to that might potentially come up is, you know, these guys don't have the biggest or best of reputations, but Leicester Falcons, they're currently undefeated in Division 1.
Shout out Guy Kersey, you know. He was telling us, bro. He was telling us that the time is nigh. He was telling us that the time is nigh, and we didn't believe him, bro.
We didn't believe him. We didn't believe him because of all the aggro that was around his name. But you know, fingers crossed, they've cleaned up a little bit. And I'm not saying they were dirty people, but fingers crossed they cleaned up a little bit. Yeah, man, make it happen.
Yeah. Now Leicester look good. Obviously, again, another team that's full of, you know, people who don't hold the same passport. Now, what we got? We
but I don't know if that's the case anymore. You know, we need to do some research. Because remember, it was like that. We don't know if that's still we don't know. Because you're right, it was like that. I don't know if it's still the case. Then yeah, man, Leicester, come on, man.
Yeah. Because they've got some talent, though. Definitely have some talent. Obviously, their division's a bit. Obviously, Chester Romans are barking on the door, kind of. But like I said, it looks like I think the Leicester Falcons will take.
Chester Romans are going to try and bark as much as possible. It's a shame about Hearts and Spartans. They're not having the best of seasons, but I've got a lot of time for Holton, man. So fingers crossed they can make something happen over there, man.
Yeah. So what else we got? We done the Hornets, the Highland Stags. Damn, topping the NFC 2 North. That's nice. Obviously they're 3-0 now. So obviously they're dominating that. They haven't lost. Dunfermline Kings struggling at the bottom. Wow.
Yeah, I can see that, man. I'm not. Yeah, man. Wow. Well, we'll see what happens with those guys, man. They're not filling me with a lot of hope, but we'll see what happens with those guys. The good thing about the Division 2 games is that there's still lows to play for in a lot of those games. That their seasons, a lot of them have only played 2 or 3 games so far. So.
So the provisional, well, just to clear it up, no one really knows this, but the provisional practice squad for the GB Women's has been announced.
Yes.
So the 66 practice squad, and I want to put brackets in practice. It's not yet the final squad. Obviously, that's been announced. So some of our girls have been made. They've made the practice squad. Shout out Vanessa. Shout out Shay. Yeah, so those girls have made the practice squad. So obviously they're on the quest now. They're in the firing line to kind of potentially make the final 45 women roster, to compete in the IFAF Women's World Championships in August.
I think.
End of July and beginning of August. So from the 1st of July. So yeah, what's your predictions? Because obviously the world is going to be tough. Like I said, I'm optimistic.
I'm very optimistic.
It's not going to be easy, bro. Apparently they got Mexico in the first game. So, boy,
I don't care who they have. The girls have been working hard for it. They
mm,
they represented us extremely well at the Europeans.
mm,
Um, so now it's time to take to the next level. And I think for me
mm.
personally, they whether or not anything happens, I'm rooting for them. We're going to be there supporting
Oh
them
yeah,
live whole.
jeez.
So
Mm,
what regardless of what happens, to be able to get to this level, like
mm.
you've been selected as what is it, 8 teams? I think one of 8 teams in the world that play American football for women to represent a country. I think
Mad.
as an organization and as a team, they should hold heads high no matter what
Mm,
happens. Going to every single game, like you've got nothing to lose and leave it all on the line. And number two,
mm,
to even be selected to represent your country at this level,
mm,
a world championship. Do you know
mm,
that's crazy, man? Not many people
mm,
can turn around and say that they've represented their country across any sport
mm,
at World Championship. So I think
mm,
they've got a chance. They definitely have a chance. Whether they want
mm,
to go in as underdogs or favourites, they just need to play the football that we saw them playing at the Europeans. And you have to remember, Europeans
mm,
was a lot of them. I think for Vanessa anyway,
mm.
her first sort of taste of real international football. And she'd openly tell you, like, she had some games where she was balling and I had some games where she was like, I'm still
Yeah,
new to the sport. Whereas a
yeah.
lot of guys now, they've had the experience. They've been in,
Mm,
they've played
mm,
against each other in competitive football. You know what I
yeah.
mean? So they're
Mm,
ready to sort of take it to the next level and play people
yeah.
that they're unaware of and really give it to them and stick it to them. And hopefully we
Mm,
can come back victorious, man.
mm,
I believe personally, man. It's coming home, as they'll say.
mm. It's coming up. Trust
I,
me. No. I think like I said, it'd be great for the sport. I think I spoke to some of the girls prior, and I was like, you know what? If you're selected and you do participate in the worlds, you got the city
that
on your
alone.
shoulders. You got the city on your shoulders. Embrace that. Embrace that. You got the city on your shoulders. You've done well to get this far.
Mhm.
Take it home, man. Give it
Yeah,
everything you got. Because I know for some of those girls, this is one and done. Some of them are thinking, you know what, after this, I'm battered and bruised. I want to maybe start a family. I want to maybe, embark on a family, have children, and do
this is
other
it, man.
things, invest,
Chance,
maybe
man.
coach. So
Yeah.
for some of them, this is one and done. They're not going to play the sport after this. And if you're out
Have to
there
leave it
and
all on the
ladies,
line.
yeah,
Leave it all on the line. If that's how I look them up,
yeah,
you have to leave it all on the line, man.
yeah, put it all on the
Me,
line, like I said.
yeah, me
Mm,
personally, I can't see my last game coming soon, but the moment I can
mm,
start tasting it, like if it's
mm,
something as big as a world championship to play for, you leave it all
mm.
out.
Hundred
You leave it.
percent, 100%, 100%. Yeah, yeah,
I'm proud
hundred
of our
percent.
ladies. I don't know Exs and
Yeah.
Os. I'm proud of all of the 60 that have made,
Mm,
whether it's practice or not, the fact that they've been recognised to do
mm,
it and
mm,
be there is in itself, something to
mm,
be proud of and something to be
mm,
friends and family about. So, yeah, man, I'm
mm,
proud of the ladies and Exs and
mm,
Os. I'm proud of the ladies in general. I'm proud of the ladies that are representing teams from
mm,
that, like not every team is the Warriors or Birmingham Lions. So, if you're from
mm.
coming from a team that's not as big as those organizations, like be proud of yourself and proud of the team that you
Yeah.
come from. Man, there's like,
Word,
yeah, man,
word,
so much to be
word,
proud for. Trust me. Trust
word, word. So we also got the GB Benz. They got their exhibition kind of game or match
me.
coming
Yeah,
up,
blue versus
which is
white.
good. Which is good. I think that's in late July, or is it a couple of weeks time? They got that
Yeah.
going.
So they're gonna do a
Yeah.
coaching clinic, and then the following day
Mm.
will be the game. I don't want to say that it was my idea because remember I said the roster ages ago, and then doing
Yeah,
it
yeah.
in team
Yeah.
friendly. I don't want to claim that. I'd like to
Mm,
think that they thought of that all
mm,
themselves. But,
mm,
I'm just gonna
mm,
put it out there. Like I clearly know my
mm,
stuff. They're doing it, and
mm,
I you know what I mean. So
mm. There
yeah,
you
now it'll be
go. There
good.
you go.
Good.
Yeah, I know some people don't some people have recently started to dislike Jason Scott, but like I said, the guy is doing what he can to make the game better. He's a man, he's a human being, he makes mistakes. Like I
Exactly
said,
that.
we can't knock him for that. He's trying to build something that's broken, like I said, and
Exactly that.
kudos and respect to that. Like I said, he's making the best out of a bad situation and he's doing a better job. Like I said, we have to kind of get behind that putting aside his antics. Like I said, he's a human. I've made mistakes. You've made mistakes.
That's it,
Like I
man.
said, we just move on. Yeah.
So, and I'm sure that once all of the dust is settled and he's done all of his like GB stuff, he'll come in and talk about it. I'm confident.
100%.
We've got a relationship, so yeah, man, we'll make it
100%.
work.
Yeah. Brilliant. So as is customary, we always have on our shows the cap of the day. So I'm going to ask you, Jay, is this the end of the Sussex Thunder?
Yeah. I said a long time ago that when was the head coach Ian, I think his name was. I bet when he left, I said that these guys, as much as I like them, because we've had some great battles with Sussex when we're at Kent, right? As much as I like those guys, I'd be interested to see if they could bounce back after that coach left. We had one of our guys even also play there as well, and he just said that the organisation is not the same as where it once was. So I'd like to hope it's not, because they try to branch out and do the right thing and do the Thunderbolts thing and make a second team. But there must be enough talent down in Sussex that they can be able to put up a competitive team together, man. So yeah, we'll see. I think it's early to say it's the end. If it's like this next year, then I think we can say it. But some teams. Remember, O's had that one year where they went 0-10. Went to Division 1, recruited, got new coaching staff, bounced straight back to the Prem. Guess what? They've managed to find themselves staying in the Prem for about a year, 2 years now. So I like to always think that sometimes teams have off years. It happens. And there's no team that plays football that hasn't had even the Warriors have had an off year. Do you know what I mean? Everyone's had off years. We'll give them another year. For now, we'll call it a blip. For now, we'll call it a blip. See what happens. But then, just like this time next year, then you're right. Because we'll do it for the day, and I'll have a completely different response. I'll be like, they might be out of it.
Dope. There you have it. Like I said, you've had the pleasure of having me and Mr. Solanke on the show. You know how the thing's set. We go again. You know how it goes. Like I said, we go again every Mondays. Trust me, to the world and back. We go on every Mondays from 8 to 9, every Thursday from 9 to 10, and so on. We might stay longer. We might stay 2 hours. We might even give you 3 hours. Like I said, we might even fall asleep. Who knows? Like I said, that's how the thing's set for now. Love, look after yourself. Peace and love. Like I said, tune in, like, share, and subscribe. Everything X's and Os, Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, all of those things there. And don't forget, most importantly, subscribe to our YouTube channel for direct notifications for our shows. Take care of yourselves. Peace and love.